It's Kyle here, and in today's video I'll be hitting my series of videos where I explore the animated world of Star Wars. If you haven't been watching these videos, basically I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but one big hole in my fandom was I'd never seen any of the Star Wars animated content. So this year, 2020, being a crazy year of the pandemic and being stuck home a lot more often, Disney Plus existing now is the perfect time to binge watch Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance and finally catch up on all this Star Wars animated content. So today's video I'll be reviewing Season 6 of Clone Wars. I've been loving Clone Wars so far. Season 5, the one I just reviewed, I literally think is one of the most perfect seasons of TV I've seen. Live action, animated, anything. It is just awesome. So I was really excited for Season 6. Enjoyed it a lot. Not nearly as good as Season 5, but it's still a really awesome season. I will mention this is a very short season. There is only 13 episodes. So it's a shorter season, but the story arcs they fit in here are very impactful. So first off, you have basically a story arc that wraps around the clone troopers and Order 66. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what Order 66 is. It's basically the order that's implanted on all clone troopers' minds, so that when Palpatine activates it, they will kill all the Jedi. And basically, this story arc starts in episode The Unknown, and basically at the beginning of the episode, a clone trooper just randomly starts having headaches and hearing voices, and he basically goes up to a Jedi and just randomly kills him. And obviously this sends shockwaves through the clone troopers and the Jedi, like, what just happened? This Jedi happened to be really close friends with the clone trooper 5, so 5 asked for missions to basically escort this other trooper as a prisoner back to Camino, where the Jedi are sending him so the cloners can take a look at this individual and figure out what happened. Was the person poisoned or have some sort of weapon used against him by the Separatists to make him kill a Jedi? Did he just go crazy? Is this a sickness? What happened? Did he go crazy? What's going on here? So the episodes is The Unknown, Conspiracy, Fugitive, and Orders. And so it's 5 is really the main character for this 4-episode story arc, which is very interesting to see a story arc that's basically completely carried by a clone trooper. And basically as they go back to Camino, 5 becomes more and more convinced that the cloning scientists are hiding a secret, and there's something wrong with all the clone troopers, not just this one individual. And he becomes obsessed with, like, I need to uncover this truth so I can so I can warn my fellow clone brothers about what's been done to us, and also warn the Jedi that something has been tinkered with us to make us want to kill Jedi. I really enjoyed this episode. 5 was a very interesting character to kind of build a story arc around, and it was a very interesting and just enjoyable story arc. I thought it was a great way to start Season 6, especially when you kind of how see Season 6 develops. A lot of it's kind of built on exploring these big story elements that are really a focus of the prequel stuff, like Order 66, the development of the Jedi, and where Yoda's at, that type of stuff. The next story arc is probably my least favorite story arc for Season 6, and it's built around the Blanking Clan and Clovis, who is an old friend of Padme. Clovis and the Blanking Clan had a storyline earlier in the series, and it was just never one of my favorite story arcs. I find kind of Clovis kind of a generic. I don't really hate him, but I don't really like him either. He's just kind of bland and boring, so I'm not a huge fan of this story arc because of that. Padme and Anakin are kind of interesting in this story arc, especially you can see how Anakin is beginning to become very jealous and protective of Padme, and he's very suspicious of Clovis because Padme and Clovis basically used to have a relationship. But beyond that, the Clovis element of the storyline, it didn't really do it for me. But you have the episodes Old Friend, The Rise of Clovis, and Crisis at the Heart. Next up, you have 2 episodes, The Disappeared Part 1 and Disappeared Part 2, which is built around Jar Jar Binks. Normally, if you tell me there's a story arc built around Jar Jar, well, that's probably going to be my least favorite story arc for a season. In this case, it was. Jar Jar was very interesting in this one. It was kind of him and Mace Windu, so there was a little bit of a buddy cop type aspect to this 2-story arc. But the interesting part was, Mace Windu and Jar Jar basically go to this planet where a fort sits of members of this species are vanishing, and the reason Jar Jar comes is the ruler of this planet knew Jar Jar and is really close friends, and it seems to be implied that they had a romantic relationship. And it's an interesting contrast because if they're going, Mace Windu basically views Jar Jar as a complete moron and an idiot and is hating him to go with Jar Jar. When you get to Jar Jar, Jar Jar is viewed with respect on this planet. They don't really view him as a moron or idiot. They think Jar Jar is this really great individual, and it's kind of interesting to see this play off, and also see Jar Jar rise to the level that's expected of him on this planet, and really help the situation, and not just by accident, but actually make smart decisions and do stuff. I wish Jar Jar was like this more in other storylines, and not the way he's usually depicted. But it's an interesting little 2-story arc, and then. The season wraps up with a 4-story arc: the Lost One, Voices, Destiny, and Sacrifice. So if you remember the Phantom Menace, you have the Clone Army, which was ordered by this mysterious Jedi, Sifo-Dyas. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But basically, he'd ordered it. The rest of the Jedi were unaware of it. And by the time the Clone Army is ready, this Jedi has vanished and he's disappeared. And the Jedi have no idea why he ordered this army and for what reasons, but now they have it, and it's the perfect time until they decide to use it. So this story arc kind of explores as the Jedi kind of unravel this mystery of why this lost Jedi, what happened to him, and why he ordered the clone army, which leads Yoda to realize that the Sith and the dark side have been manipulating events of the Clone Wars the entire time, and Yoda is beginning to realize, I don't know if the Jedi are going to win here. I think the Sith are in control more than we've ever realized before. At the same time, Qui-Gon reaches out to Yoda in the Force and begins to talk to him, and Yoda's shocked because Yoda did not believe once an individual has passed away that they'd be able to communicate like that. That's a completely unknown Force power to Yoda. And Qui-Gon basically instructs Yoda, you need to learn this power because you're going to need it in the future if the Jedi and the light side of the Force are going to defeat the dark side. So the story arc really covers Yoda's journey to learn this Force power. It's very interesting to see Yoda, this focus of this story arc. I love Yoda as a character in the Clone Wars. He's very interesting. And it's a very movie story arc because as you're going through this, you're realizing these Force powers are Yoda is learning are the powers that he needs to be Luke's teacher in Empire that Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and then later in the newer movies, he's learning stuff that he has to have for the Jedi to be able to win these monumental struggles against good versus evil. It was a very cool, interesting way to wrap up Season 6. So overall, like I said, I really enjoyed Season 6. Didn't enjoy it as much as Season 5, which is not surprising because I think Season 5 is perfect, basically. But I still thought Season 6 was really awesome. Comment section below, let me know what some of your favorite aspects were of Season 6. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. I hope you're enjoying this series of videos as much as I am enjoying doing them. And I'll see you the next time, and may the Force be with you.